love and that I find, thank you for recording, that to create a life that I love, and that I wake up every morning and I'm just happy to experience the ups and the downs, the lefts and the rights and the merry-go-round. And now that I'm closer and closer to sort of executing that and living this life, it's just on my heart to share it. So I am honored. This is the inaugural first workshop of this kind. I plan to deliver it a few more times. So you all are the test case studies. So welcome. We're going to have some fun tonight. That's what we're going to do. My request of all of you is this, that you give it your all, that you participate, that you are present. And that most importantly, if you don't get my vibe that I'm on, the energy that I'm on right now, to have some fun. Just because we may be talking about some heavy stuff, y'all know sometimes the best form of therapy is laughter and having fun. And that is the tone that I want to set for this evening. I want us to really think about, in a way of ease and flow and play, how can we do this? How can we get from where we are to really where we want to be? So my request of you is that you just play out, you have fun, and we go from there. So I just want to put a few guidelines out there to make sure that this room stays a safe place and that you're present and that you get the most out of this. So first and foremost, I want you to be fully present. I, like y'all, have been in Zoom meetings and like been on my phone and like moving to other tabs and all this stuff. Let me tell you, you're going to get so much out of this presentation, out of this workshop, if you cut off all distractions. So let's make a commitment to each other that we are going to cut off all distractions. We're going to focus, because let me tell you, I'm about to give y'all some gems today. Would love for y'all to stay muted. Y'all know how these Zoom rooms can go. 1 minute somebody's talking and we hear somebody running and laughing and talking in the background. To the best of your ability, please keep yourself on mute. And if you have a question, you definitely can raise your hand and I or Kenny will acknowledge you. Now, does everyone know how to raise their digital hand? Do we want to practice this? Do we want to practice? For those who don't know how to do it or never done it, do we know how to raise our digital hand? So if you look down on your Zoom settings, there should be something maybe called reaction and hand raise. Perfect. Yes. Okay. All right. Is anyone raising their hand? Oh, well, I see a heart, so I'll take it. So y'all can do reactions. Thank you, Candace. You could raise your hand. The reactions button, if you hear something that you like and you feel like that's a word, honey, put them reactions on. Let's keep the energy up. Again, for those of you who told me in advance that you have to keep your camera off because you're in transit or you're doing childcare, no worries. Otherwise, my request is to put your cameras on, because we're going to make this interactive and I want to see your beautiful shining faces. And this session is going to be recorded. So for those of you who don't want that, now is your opportunity to exit stage left. There are many people who couldn't make it here tonight, and they really wanted the material, so I wanted to record it for them. But you know, hopefully everyone feels comfortable with that. Okay, so oops, and of course, it took me all the way to slide that I didn't want to go to. Here we go. All right, so what are we going to do tonight? I'm going to do 3 things with y'all. The name of this workshop is called Unleash, and we're talking about internal resistance and self-sabotage. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you what internal resistance really is and why you unconsciously, sometimes consciously, but usually unconsciously self-sabotage, how internal resistance shows up for you and keeps you in a constant loop of self-sabotage, and how do you release it so that you can create the life and or the business that you want. And like I said in the beginning, I have a free, I should have put the word free, a free bonus for you that I'm giving to each and every one of you that attend this workshop, but you only get it until you stay towards the end. And you'll want to, because it's so engaging and it's great content. Okay. So are we ready? Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get an emoji? Can I get something? Are we ready? Are we excited? Can I get a wave? Can I get a yes, yes. Come on, energy, people, energy. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Some of you know me very, very well. Some of you don't know me at all, and some of you only know part of my story. Um, and some of you know all of my story. And it's been a very interesting journey for me the past 41 years of my life. And I wanted to share what led me up to this point to creating this workshop. So I come from a working class family. My mother immigrated from Panama. My father is a Southerner from North Carolina. Hey, North Carolina. They met in New York City, fell in love, and got married. And like many working class families, their goal was to create a life for their children so that their children can do better for them, better than them. Right. And so what did they do? They created this blueprint for most of us to follow. They wanted us to gain skills and knowledge. They wanted us to join the workforce and receive a higher salary than they did. They wanted us to buy a house, have a car, live comfortably, go on vacation, and retire. Right. That's what my parents wanted for me and my sister and the rest of their children. And so I did what the path that was laid out for me told me to do. I went to school, I got a degree, I got a high paying job. I earned way more money than my parents did combined. Okay. And I know many of us are in the same boat. But the further I went down this path, the more I became disenfranchised, the more that I became out of alignment with something that was really happening inside me that I couldn't put my finger on. Also, and I know many of y'all can feel this, my parents were able to own a home, two cars, and go on vacations and buy us things with a working class salary. Their money went a lot further than my money. And I think that also is what started this discontent, this unfulfillment in me, because I did all the things and living in New York City, it wasn't working out. It wasn't this fairy tale American dream that we all have been told to chase. I wanted to do something more meaningful. That was what was burning inside of me. And every day when I went to work, work just felt like a means to an end to get a paycheck. Oh, and by the way, you can't be your real self when you go to work because you have to show up and behave in the way that your employer wants you to behave so that they deem you acceptable to earn a salary. So I had to keep a smile on my face. I had to say, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. I had to tone down the parts of myself that were unique and amazing so that I can fit in. And what I also realized is that the skills that came naturally to me, my sensitivity, my empathy, my coaching skills, my training skills, if I just wanted to do that and nothing else, and not deal with the bureaucratic BS, not do all these other things that they pile on top of the job description, if I just wanted to use my unique skills and talents and abilities, that was not monetarily valued like some other skills were valued, like tech, like finance, right? Like being a doctor or being a lawyer. Our society has set it up that certain skills and certain jobs garner more value. And so we contort ourselves to fit into those jobs, to fit into those skills so that we can get money, so that we can feed ourselves, put a roof over our head, and take care of the next generation that's coming behind us. And I felt like crap that my skills, the things that came so easy to me, were not as highly valued. Because I could have been a social worker, and no shame to social workers, but we all know that the salaries for that are not as high, and the workload is triple. So I was really just trying to figure out where I fit in the world. And I don't know why my images didn't come up, but just pretend. So the way that I tried to figure out where I fit into the world and how to understand where I can really find a space where I fit in is that I jobbed hopped. And many of y'all know me, and y'all know that I be switching jobs in a minute, girl. I will switch a job. I worked in higher education. I worked in investment banking. I worked for government. I shipped myself across the Atlantic Ocean, across Europe to Central Asia in Kazakhstan, where I was a Peace Corps volunteer. And all of these things that I was doing is that I was looking for a more perfect balance of where I can fulfill my purpose, have leisure, have money, and have more time for myself and my family. But everything that I did, every job that I went to, nothing really fit me. And I felt really disconnected. And what I realized is that I was searching outside of myself for something that I could solve within me. But I didn't know that at the time. And again, while you're searching, because you know you need the paycheck, you just keep playing the game. I smile. I became a chameleon. And that's why I was able to job hop so well. You can put me in any type of environment. I will enjoy it. I will absorb the skills. I will figure out what is it and how you want me to perform, and I will do that. And in doing that, I kept my true self small for many years, ignoring what I truly wanted to do, all because I wanted to survive financially. And I ended up feeling trapped in my circumstances and stifled by the expectations that my family had for me, that the world had for me, and by society's rules that I had to follow that never really fit me. And all I really wanted to do, y'all, was help people. That's all I really wanted to do. I am a natural coach. I love doing workshops. I love doing trainings. And I could never find a role that allowed me to do it on my own terms, in the way that fit my unique skill set, in the way that filled me up. And so when I thought about, if I don't job hop anymore, and I try to figure out another way of being in the world outside of the 9 to 5, the only thing that came to me as an answer was play the stock market or become an entrepreneur. I ain't got time to figure out the stock market right now, although I probably will in the future because I'm all about multiple streams of income. But again, I come from a working class family. Entrepreneurship is too risky. And the doubts that I felt kept me saying that I wasn't smart enough, that I wasn't good enough. And let's be clear, the odds of a Black woman entrepreneur making it big out there, the numbers don't lie. Not many of us make it, and many entrepreneurs fail within their first few years of business. So it just wasn't something that I was willing to pursue. I just focused on the worst case scenario, which is failure, being broke, everyone laughing at me because I failed, and me being poor on the street with my 2 kids and my husband, which will never happen. But that's exactly where my mind went. So I continued to play the game until I couldn't do it no more. Hey, Lucky Charms, that's, for those of you who know, that is my cat who passed away last year, who I love to death, who would always keep me company when I got really sad and depressed. So about 2 years ago, I didn't have a choice. I had to stop. Life really knocked me flat on my ass, and I was deep in depression, anxiety. I was working a job that was a global role that sounded pretty sexy, that was making me lots of money, but I was working crazy hours. I had 2 bosses at the same time. Has anyone ever had that? 2 bosses? And I just got so stressed out, and I had to put myself out on leave because I wasn't showing up for my family. I wasn't showing up for my kids, and I definitely wasn't showing up for work. And this happened because I kept ignoring what was happening inside of me. And this is why I want to do this workshop, because so many of us keep ignoring the voice in ourselves that tells us to do more, that tells us to pursue more, because we're too scared, because we think that we're not good enough. But guess what? Your body and your unconscious mind and the universe, or whatever you believe in, God, will sometimes make that decision for you. And that's exactly what happened to me. I did not want to do this, but I had to put myself out on leave. And I got therapy, I got coaching, I even got on medication. And I finally had the depth and space to listen and to ask the questions and to find the real me, the me that I actually don't think I ever knew, or the me that I forgot who I was. Because for so many years, I had been living out someone else's standards and expectations. And I do not want that to happen to anybody else. I want us to get the courage, the neurology, and the skills to actually listen to our inner voice and do the thing that we are called to do. Okay. Um, I wanted to do something meaningful in this world. I did all the things to figure out how to do that. I finally listened to my heart. I really assessed the gifts that I have. And I decided while I was out on leave to not go back, to not go back. And it was a hard decision because I had two very young children at the time. And thankfully, I have a supportive family who said, Erica, we love you way more than your salary or your job title. Please do what you need to do so that you don't go back into that space again. And I left corporate and I left all those things that society taught me to do. I consciously left them behind. But just because I consciously left that wiring and left that roadmap behind, it was still in me. I still carried unconsciously all of that mindset, all of those expectations, all of that was wired in me because from young, we were taught this is what you do. This is how you become a worker. This is how you join the workforce. The whole goal was to figure out how to make you a worker, to figure out how you can join the workforce and help make somebody else money so that they can trickle down and give you some money so that you can eat and have a roof over your head. So I was scared. So I was like, you know what, let me just, dabble. Let me do some executive coaching. I worked in corporate America for such a long time. I can help these executives. And I got my certification and I started doing it. And let me tell y'all, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because to me, it was the same BS. I was working for the organization more than I was working for the client. And there was something in me that really wanted to focus on people's actual real desires that come from in them, not based off an organization or an organization's expectations. So I went out and y'all don't even want to know the amount of money I spent on training and certifications to find the thing that fit me. It's a lot of money. I have a lot of certifications. You look at my resume, y'all, I'm certified. I got degrees and a whole lot of stuff related to coaching. Forgive me, y'all. And then I found neurolinguistic programming through an organization, a company called Avalon Empowerment that used a technique called evolved NLP. And that allowed me to really go deep into the wiring, the unconscious wiring that kept me stuck for so long, the parts of me that kept me playing small, even though I didn't want to do it anymore. Even though I knew I wanted to do something different, there was something deep inside of me that was resisting this call. And when I found evolved NLP and neurolinguistic programming, I realized that I could, and I did, transform my beliefs and my inner wiring at a cellular level. Yes, cellular. I'm talking biology here. I'm talking neuroscience here, and we'll get into it a little better. And that's why you see me out loud now. Many of you guys have known me for years and you have not seen me in this space. You have not seen this side of me. But trust and believe this has been in me for a very long time. But so many things kept it hidden. So I am proof positive to you that you can create the life that you want and you can bring that thing in you that's been hiding out. It's why I have the courage and the excitement to be here with you tonight because I did the work. And the day that I finally accepted who I really was, yes, my uniqueness as a Black woman, because y'all know, working in some of these organizations, They want us toned down and behaving like the masses. And I actually love being a Black woman. I actually think Black women are the shit. I think everyone is the shit. She's being a Black woman. And y'all know, those of you who know me in corporate America, I toned that all the way down. I'm an empath and a highly sensitive person. And I always felt I had to put up this shield, this armor, and hide that part of me. But I realized that that is actually my superpower. That's what makes me a good coach. That's what makes me a good trainer. And so I embraced the things that society told me were not valuable. I embraced the things that were unique to me that society taught me were not valuable. I thought those things about me were a weakness, and that's bullshit. And I don't know what you think about yourself. I curse, forgive me, y'all. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know what it is about yourself that you feel like is your strength that you've been hiding, your uniqueness. But I want you to not look at it as a weakness because somebody told you that it is. That's bullshit. Each and every one of us were born with skills and ability that are specific to you, specific to you. And it's for a reason, because you are supposed to birth that uniqueness into the world, not hide it. And that is what creates dis-ease in our bodies. And so now I'm on a mission, y'all. I'm on a mission to help people walk the path that I had to walk to get to where I am today. And yes, I'm focusing on women, but I help men too. My husband can attest. I want to help people that have been hiding their true selves, who've been putting themselves in a box, to break free and to do things in this world aligned with who they really are and make money and support yourself while doing it. Because many of us, especially those of us who come from lineages of oppression, whether by race, by gender, by sexual orientation, by religion, by geography, whatever. Many of us who come from lineages of oppression, who've had ancestors have the uniqueness beaten out of them. Think about all the women in the world who had a gift to bring to this world, but couldn't because society told women they had to play this role. Think about all of the Black African ancestors who were in the slave trade in the United States of America, who had a unique gift to give, but it was literally beaten out of them and they were put in this box. And that is still happening today. And I want my shit back, y'all. All of the shit that was taken away from my ancestors, all of the uniqueness, all of the gifts and the talents that were taken away from people who come from my lineage, I want that shit back. And I know that it's within me. I don't want any more dis-ease in my body, and I'm going to live out loud. And some of y'all are going to like it, and some of y'all are not. And I'm okay with that, because you can't serve and please everybody. And I'm a reformed people pleaser. I know. But it really breaks my heart to see people who are so amazing and brilliant and talented be held back by fear, trauma, and resistance. And I want our shit back. That's the mission that I'm on. Because I know that if we actually show up as our whole selves in this world, you're not just liberating yourself, you're liberating the future generations that come after you, and you are honoring the folks that came before you. I want to raise a future generation where my kids and their kids believe that they can do anything that they want. I want people to walk in alignment with their soul's true purpose. And that is the legacy that I'm trying to build for Eva, my daughter, and Bino. That's an old picture, y'all, but they were so cute. I had to post it. All right, but so here's the truth. That sounds nice, right? That sounds all good. Like we're energized, right? But this is not easy. This ain't easy. This is hard. It has not been all roses and sunshine, okay? Because just because you decide to do something and you decide to go on this wonderful journey to fulfill your life purpose, the old way of thinking and your old programming does not disappear. Okay. And that can make you feel like you're supposed to give up. I had a huge fear of failure. I don't know if anyone else has a fear of failure. I had a huge fear of failure, and that kept me playing small. And I had to figure out within me, what is it that I need to rethink? How is it that I need to change my mindset so that I don't view failure as something that means I'm not good enough, but that I view it as a lesson and I don't care of the judgments of other people. So when you follow your calling, when you chase your soul's true purpose, guess what you have to face? All of your darkest fears and all of your darkest beliefs are going to come up to the surface on purpose, because your unconscious mind, the universe, whatever you believe in, God, is telling you, if this is who you want to be, this is how I need you to transform. I need you to look at all of those things, all of those illusions, the fear, the crazy beliefs, the negative emotions. I need you to look at all of those things, because you can't be this thing, this amazing person, if you are allowing these unconscious blocks to run your life. So it purposefully brings these things up in you for resolution. And I didn't know that at first. I didn't know that. I just felt like giving up all the time. But now I'm like, oh, when I get a negative belief or emotion or I'm scared, I'm like, oh, that means I'm on the right path, y'all. That means I'm doing it. It doesn't mean that I need to stop. It means that I need to keep going. So again, I thought leaving the 9-to-5 world was the hardest part, but the real shit came, y'all, when I had to face my demons, face the things that kept them small, and actually try to rewire them. And the training that I had helped me slay those dragons. But the fight was still real. And again, I don't run from hard anymore. I don't run from difficult anymore. I don't run from challenging anymore, because I know that's exactly the path that I need to go to. Because guess what? I'm going to be all right. I'm a human. Do you know how many times these billionaires have failed over and over and over again and picked themselves back up? It's not because they were like, oh, I guess I'm not meant for this. They were like, oh no, I'm meant for this. Let me just figure out how to do it a different way. So I don't fear failure. I don't fear challenges. I run to them. Because discomfort is where the magic happens. When you are facing your challenges, when you are uncomfortable, that is a sign that you are growing. And guess what? As humans, we're not supposed to do it alone, because we have so many blind spots. We have our own perspective, our own model of the world, that makes it hard for us to see our own stuff. It makes it so hard for us to see our own stuff. So it's really hard to do it on your own. And each and every one of you is a hero in your own story. And guess what? There's never been a hero in any story that you've ever had that has done it alone. They always have guides and people around them that are pouring into them, that are giving them nuggets of information, that are giving them comfort, that are giving them healing on their hero's journey. And so whether it's via a community, a therapist, a coach, a friend, family, my encouragement to you all is that if you choose this path, do not do it in isolation. Do not do it in isolation. Find the people that are your tribe, that are going to help you and support you on this path. So again, this is my purpose. I just want to create a world where we get our shit back, where we embrace our creativity, our uniqueness, and we bring it into the world. Because for far too long, one particular race, one particular gender has been creating the rules, has been dictating how we need to run our lives, has been creating the standard. And I don't want it anymore. I want to create my own standard, and I want to be an example to others. And the way that we do that starts in here. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So that's my story. Happy to go into more detail because y'all know I can talk about Peace Corps forever, honey. So what is the unconscious mind? What am I talking about? So I want you to think about your unconscious mind as you from the neck up. Everything that is in your awareness, everything you can see, touch, feel, hear, smell, the fact that you can pick up the phone, type, all of these things happen in your awareness. And then your unconscious mind, think about it as you from the neck down. That's all the things that are happening within your body and within your mind that are outside of your awareness. Your unconscious mind stores all of your memories. It's the domain where your emotions come from. And guess what? Your unconscious mind actually takes everything personally. And sometimes it doesn't know what's true or what's fake, what's good or what's bad. It kind of goes back into your beliefs and your values to kind of make that decision, and you can program that. Your unconscious mind organizes all of your memories, and it will repress unresolved trauma and negative emotions to keep you safe. And it will also present you repressed memories to your conscious mind for resolution. Remember what I said, when you walk on this path, you're going to have things start coming up. That's a good sign. That means you're on the right path. And that means your unconscious mind is doing you a favor by pointing out to you those things that you need to focus on. And your unconscious mind preserves your body. That's how you can breathe in your sleep. That's why your heart pulses, right? That's how your whatever the body functions do. Sorry, I drew a blank right here. But it's all the things that go on in your body that happen to you outside of your awareness. So here's the thing. Your conscious mind is only 10% of who you are. And your unconscious mind is 90% of who you are. And so what do? Most of us try to solve our problems and create a life using only 10% of our capacity, when we really should be digging deeper into unconscious mind, which is 90% of us, and using that as a way to propel ourselves forward. Again, your unconscious mind is where your beliefs and values are stored, because your brain can't process everything at one time. So it has to keep things in the background and pull them forward when appropriate. And it's a storehouse for everything you've ever said, everything that's been said to you, every thought you've ever had, every belief, everything that has happened to you is stored in your unconscious mind, even though you don't remember them. It's why you can actually walk to the store and talk on your phone and text without paying attention, because your muscle memory, all of that is stored in your unconscious mind, and it's constantly working in the background. Think about it like a computer. When you click this button to join this Zoom call, all you saw was a Zoom screen come up. But there were so many things that happened in the background that, even though I have an IT degree, I cannot explain to you today. That's a whole nother story. But think about all of the connections, the ports, the whatever that happens to make this Zoom meeting happen. That is how our brains work. They're the things that we see and we experience, and then there are all these things in the background that make the experience what it is. And guess what? If there's a glitch in the computer, if your computer is wired a certain way, you're always going to get the same result. If you want your computer to do something different, you have to reprogram it. You have to reprogram it. And so that is what our unconscious is there for. So then you ask, how is your unconscious mind responsible for where you are right now? How is it responsible for this feeling of stuckness that you could be having? Well, again, It's 90% of who you are. When we think about our beliefs and our values are what we deem as important, and that can be an unconscious program. And our beliefs is everything that we think is true or untrue in the world. It's what you believe is possible. And so here's a very important question that I want you to ponder. And I want you to write it in the chat. Let's open up the chat. Where do you think your values and beliefs come from? Let's put some answers in the chat. Where do our values and our beliefs come from? Yes, Chris. Immediate family. What else? Come on, let's make this engaging. Let's use our, yes, family, life experience, church. Yep. Your upbringing, TV, family, peers, society. So all of these external things are telling you what your values and beliefs are. So you're correct. Sorry, I need to hide these meeting controls. Thank you. Your unconscious, the outside world influences you. So where do our unconscious beliefs come from? Everything you said: family, friends, church, school, where you live, your socioeconomic status, television and social media. We could spend a whole time talking about that. And I also want you to know when these unconscious beliefs are formed. From the ages of 0 to 7 is something called the imprint period. And I believe, and anyone who comes from Avalon who's on this call, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're of that age, most of your brain is functioning on beta waves, right? So it's kind of like you're in a trance. And that makes it easier for you to absorb information. And many of us don't remember a lot of the things that happened to us from ages 0 to 7. Many of us don't remember, but the unconscious mind remembers. And that's the starting point from how your unconscious beliefs are formed. What did your parents say to you when you were 0 to 7? Were your parents even involved in your life? What happened to you when you were the age 0 to 7? That plays a big part of who you are. And then from 7 to 14 is sort of the modeling period. That's when we're like, whatever, mom, whatever, dad, whatever, grandma, my friends got the answer, right? It's like my friends have all the answers. And so you model and you try to fit in. And, you know, we all know junior high school to high school, honey, can be a little scary, but we try to model and we want to shape our beliefs to fit in. Right? And then you go to college or you get older and you try to, again, model and socialize and become more of who you are. And then you have sort of like what you call your business persona, which is what happened to me, where the world of work did a huge mindfuck on me to make me who I was. All of this happens to each of us in a very unique way. But guess what? It doesn't only come from the outside world. Your unconscious beliefs can be handed down to you at a cellular level via DNA. And I'm going to ask for 2 minutes of your time to watch this video and let me know if y'all can hear this in the chat. No? No sound? Ooh, let's fix that. Oh, ta-da-ta-da. Come on, Zoom. Share, advanced sharing options. Come on, Zoom. There we go. Share sounds. Ha ha ha. Let's try it again. Let me know.
Sweet smell of fruit doesn't normally send rats running. But when researchers paired the orange, cherry, almondy scent of the chemical acetophenone with a painful electric shock, lab rats quickly learned to fear it. Along the way, extra neurons sprouted in their noses and in the smell processing center of their brains, making them super sensitive to the scent. This result isn't shocking. What is surprising is that the rats' pups and their pups' pups were also startled by the smell of acetophenone and had the same extra neurons as their fathers, despite never having been introduced to either their dads or the fruity scent before. But how could the pups have inherited something that their fathers learned? Basic genetics tells us that only DNA gets passed along to offspring. Characteristics like memories, scars, or giant muscles can't get passed on since acquiring them doesn't alter the genetic code. But it turns out that instilling fear in the rats did trigger genetic changes, not in the DNA sequence itself, but instead in how that code was read and used in the rats' bodies. In every cell, biological machinery constantly translates DNA into the proteins needed to carry out vital processes. Chemical switches attached to the DNA turn genes on or off or up and down, telling the machinery which proteins to produce and in what quantities. These switches, called epigenetic tags, are why a kidney cell looks and acts differently than a skin or nerve cell, even though all three cells have identical DNA. But the switches in any one cell aren't set in stone. Teaching those rats to fear the fruity smell switched one of their smell-sensing genes into overdrive. Researchers don't know all the places in the rats' bodies where this switch got flipped, but they know it happened in one key set of cells, the rats' sperm cells, which would one day pass along the tweaked genetic material, making the next generation of rats super sensitive to acetophenone. Rodents aren't the only creatures demonstrating this weird type of inheritance. In Överkalix, Sweden, boys who suffered through tough winter famines went on to have super...
Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to stop here because it goes on further. What did you all learn from this? Let's put it in the chat. What did you get from this video? What did this video tell you? I see some people typing. Trauma can be inherited. Yep. Some stuff I deal with may not have been my own. So I want you to think about some of our traits are inherited. Yeah. So what happened here is that they trained some mice to fear a smell. And then their children who never were introduced to the smell in the start of their life or who never met their parents were afraid of the smell. And I want you to think about your father's father's father, your mother's mother's mother. Remember what I said. Yes, generational curses. Yes, so true, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Yes, trauma can be passed on through the generations, and it gets wired in your unconscious mind. So when you think about women, what was it? Women weren't able to apply for a credit card until the 1970s, I believe. Think about that. So before that, women didn't even have control of their finances without having a man nearby. That is what's ingrained in your DNA. And we've done a lot to push forward. We have moved forward. We are not who we were 50, 60 years ago. We have definitely moved the ball forward. But there are definitely traits in us. And there's definitely generational trauma in us that may induce this fear, that may contribute to this feeling of stuckness, that may contribute to you wanting to play small, that may contribute to you feeling you're not good enough or you're not capable. Because when you come from a lineage of oppression, that's wired in you. That could be wired in you. So your unconscious beliefs and values can come from the outside world that you've experienced, but even things that happened before you were even born. So this is what we're contending with, and this is why it's so important for us. We want to do something big, forgive me, to, of course, this thing did that again. It's why we need to really focus on our unconscious mind when we want to do something big. Okay? Because we have so many factors working against us. And this is what it looks like. So let's say you have a goal and a desire, and you want to behave a certain way. And your conscious mind says, yep, I'm going to go in this way. I'm going to do this thing. But then remember, that's only 10% of who you are. Your unconscious mind outside of your awareness is going to do things that says, actually, we don't really believe that. Actually, that's not something that we really value. And I love this term that Avalon taught us, is that your conscious mind is the CM. Your conscious mind is your goal setter, but your unconscious mind is your goal getter. If you really want to achieve something and you find yourself in this constant loop of self-sabotage and internal resistance, and everything you try is not working, you need to look at your unconscious mind, because there's something going on in there that is working against you. Okay? But here's the great news. We can reprogram it. And if we don't reprogram it, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep going off the rails, because our unconscious mind will always do something to keep us safe. It's how we are wired as humans, to keep ourselves safe. Okay, so here's your question that you're going to ask. How do we intervene? How do I rewrite my brain so that I can stop doing this and I can stop this internal resistance? Well, this is what I'm going to walk you through for the rest of this presentation in the hour that we have left. Okay, we're going to talk about your current state. I want you to think about what is the future that you want for yourself. And we're going to talk about the gap. We're going to talk about what's missing, what's happening that's not allowing you to get there. And then we're going to talk about actionable steps you can take. And then you're going to make a commitment to yourself today to figure out how to do that thing that you want to do, how to get yourself unstuck. So let's talk about the current you. Okay, so boom, here's what happens, okay? We all live in a box, a defined box, which in the world of NLP, we called our model of the world, the way that we view the world. And everything that we try to do to fix our problems, we do it in this box, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. So all of our resources, all of our beliefs, everything that we think, all of our knowledge is in this box, and we try to fix our problems with everything that's inside this box. And we keep trying and we keep trying. And when it's not working, we'll say, I'll just do it harder. I'll do this new thing. I'll give this another try. I'll try this new thing. But each time we do this and it's not working, it's because we are still inside the box. And let's remember what our current problems are and how it relates to the unconscious mind. When you have a problem, like I hate my job, I'm unhappy with my partner, I'm overweight, I'm unfulfilled, that's something called a presenting problem. That's the problem on the surface level, okay? And again, we try everything out there in the box to try to fix this particular problem. But if we really want this problem to go away and not come back, we need to get to the root. It's just like dandelion and weeds. You can cut weeds, you can cut a dandelion, it's going to grow back. In order to let it go away, you have to pull it from its root. Okay? The root cause of any recurring problem lies outside of your awareness in your unconscious mind. And in order for you to find the solution, we have to dig deep into our unconscious to understand the values and beliefs that are incongruent with what we want. And once we do that, then we have the courage to get outside of that box we have the skills and the neurology and the awareness to get outside of the box, to find our solution, to move ourselves forward, to prepare ourselves forward. Because guess what? We don't want to go off the box because it's scary. The human mind is wired from when millions of years ago to embrace fear, to keep us safe, to run away from the lions, the tigers, and the bears. So it avoids scary things. So instead of getting to the root of the problem, what do? We complain. And honey, I love a good bitch fest. I've called some of y'all. And we've had some great, peaky bitch fest moments where we just talk about our problems, and it feels so good, right? It feels so good to just talk about how shitty our boss is. It feels so good to talk about how our partner pissed us off. It feels so good to do that. And we kind of feel, we trick our brain to think that we're doing something. And some of us get stuck here, it becomes addictive. It feels so good to complain, to put this on somebody else, that it becomes addicted and we get stuck. Besides, it's not really our fault anyway. Like it's not our fault. It's the boss's fault. It's our clients. It's the economy. It's the dating pool. It's your partner. It's your family. It's not you. It's not me. It's y'all. Right? Nothing to do with me. And we love that because actually, I don't have to do anything if it's not my fault. You have to do all the work, and I'll stay in this little nice box comfortable, and you need to figure your shit out. The economy, we need to elect some child. The New York City mayor is going through some stuff, and we're not even going to talk about the presidential election, honey. Let's talk about this economy. I'm just going to wait for the economy to get better, so that I can start pursuing my dreams. I'm just going to wait for the right partner to magically ring my doorbell and profess their love to me. I'm just going to eat these cookies and wait for my metabolism to figure out how to help me lose weight, because I don't got to do nothing. So you sit and you wait and you do nothing, and nothing changes. But you're stuck in your comfort zone and you are safe, blaming everyone else, but not taking any responsibility to push past your limitations. So you do that for a while, and then you're like, all right, I'm fed up of complaining. So let me actually try to do something now. So what's the best but safest way? Because, I don't do danger. I don't do fear. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to put myself out there and get rejected. I don't want to go to the gym and people actually see my fat, I don't want to put on a webinar and it bombs, and then everyone is messaging each other in the chat talking about, oh my God, Erica's presentation is shit, right? I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take these baby steps that are safe and meek and don't really solve my problem, but it feels like I'm really doing something. And then you're thinking about what to do, and you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking, and you buy the book, you buy the course, you do the research, you ask your mentors, you ask friends, right? And you feel better because you're working on it. You're working on it. But now you're stuck in analysis paralysis because you're working on the problem in this 10%, this you from the neck up, this consciousness, but you're not really working on the problem. You're stuck in the loop. And I want you to get out of the loop. Because again, let's remember what's happening when you're stuck. Your 90% is winning. You're going this way. Your unconscious says, nope, I don't believe you. We can't do that. Nope, we're going to be too embarrassed. Let's not do that. And that is how you self-sabotage your goals, your dreams, your vision. That is how you stay stuck in societal's expectations of who you are and who you should be. And I don't want any of us in this room or watching the recording to self-sabotage anymore, because each and every one of us has a gift, a skill, a piece of knowledge, something that is calling us within to express into the world. And I don't want you to get to where I got to, where I was damn near depressed, anxious, sad all the time. I don't want you to get there. And so our body will do all types of stuff. Do you want to know what happened to me before this thing started? Y'all, my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Some of you know the story when I decided to start my business. And it threw me for a loop. And we're finally in a place where we're like getting into a cadence where, you know, getting everything, we're feeling normal again. And last night at like 4 o'clock in the morning, mind you, I had went to bed maybe at like 1 o'clock because, you know, I was putting the final touches on this. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get some good sleep. 4 o'clock in the morning, my son's diabetes monitor fails. And the thing that we needed that could fix it wasn't there. We couldn't find it. So we're like scrounging around trying to find it. And I'm not getting any sleep. And I'm getting anxious and I'm getting scared. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna bomb. And I'm like, oh, I know what's happening. I'm creating drama. I'm creating drama in my head because my unconscious believes that I'm going to fail tonight. My unconscious believes still a little bit, and I'm going to do work on it. Because I was like, oh, I need to work on that. Something in me. And that's why I have a plethora of friends, family, and coaches that help me identify my shit. But this is what happens. You go forth, you're doing the thing, and then something comes up. And I have this thing with my son that when he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I thought it was the universe telling me that I couldn't do this. And that's what I realized. So this is how it plays out in my mind, is that when I move a step forward, something will pop up with my children. Something will pop up with my son that makes me say, see, Erica, told you, shouldn't be doing this. Told you you're going to fail. And our mind does that. Our body does that, right? How many times you want to do something good and you get sick? You start getting body aches. Your boss calls you and starts acting like an asshole and you get all stressed out and you say, forget it, right? Your unconscious mind is searching. It's searching for the way out. It's searching for a way to you to keep yourself safe because it thinks that what you're doing is too risky, too hard. So it brings all of these things into your awareness. And that is how we self-sabotage. So I want y'all to look at this list. Here's what I want y'all to do because we're about to get interactive, y'all. What on this list do you do? Let's put it in the chat. Let's be vulnerable. Let's be open because I guarantee you we all do the same thing. Which one do you do? I'll start. I put procrastination on the top for a reason. Because that is my, yes, LaShawn, you feel me. That is my number one self-sabotaging thing. What else? What else do we do? What do we do? What do we do? People please, you know, girl. People please. Oh, Akilah, all of them, every Asa said every last one of them. Come on, Candace. Yes, this is what we do. We do this. We procrastinate. We focus on perfectionism. We got Gabrielle. Yes, hey, oh, good to see you. We do all of these things to stop ourselves from doing the thing that we know we want to do. Girl, I be over consuming information. I will stay in analysis paralysis. I will do negative self-talk. Oh, but wait, there's more. There's more. We stay in our comfort zone. We think about all the past times we done messed up. This one makes me sick because my brain, I'll be having a good time making my presentation. And it's like, oh, girl, remember that one time when you froze on stage? You lost. And I'm like, stop it. I'm not accepting that thought, right? We avoid networking opportunities. We make excuses. We ignore self-care. And then, oh, all of a sudden we're sick, right? This is what we do. And I want us to stop doing this. I want this to be a signal to you that when you see yourselves doing these things, that this is an alert, that this is an alarm for you to know that there is a better way. So if you have a pen and paper, that's fine. If you just want to type it in the chat, or if you just want to think about it out loud, here's an activity I want us to do, and we're going to take this through the rest of the presentation. We have about 45 minutes left. I want you to think about a personal problem that you have really wanted to solve for so long, but you haven't done it yet. And I want it to be that thing that brings up in you that sense of stuckness. And it's like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of feeling this way. I want us to take a minute, and I really want you to bring into your awareness what that specific thing is for you. And if you believe that we are better together and that we can support each other, and this is a safe space, you can type it in the chat. I'd love to hear, even if you don't go into detail, what is it that you've been trying to do that you haven't done? And if anyone wants to say it out loud, you can raise your hand. If you just want to write it down, if you want to write it in the chat, I want to give you an opportunity to really think about what it is. I'll tell you what mine is. My problem was that I was afraid of being visible. Ooh, Candace, come on, girl, with it. You trying to solve your childhood trauma? Yes, girl. I get it. I get it. Yeah. We all have something. So I want you to have that in the front of your mind. And here are the 3 questions that I need you to ask yourself. Ooh, Sharon, I know, girl, revenue. When I tell you the amount of revenue generating activities that I avoided for my business, so many. Yeah, girl, I feel you. Ooh, Cleisha, I love this. Conquering esteem issues. Yes. I feel you. Yeah. We all have that thing. We all have that thing. So here's my question to you. And you can just think about it. And I want to give us a second. How will solving this problem, how will conquering this problem benefit you? Write it down for yourself while I drink some water. I did not plan to cough into your ear tonight. Forgive me. How will solving this problem benefit you? And here's the next question I want you to think about. What are you missing out on because you're not dealing with this problem? What are you missing out on? For Sharon, I'm sure it's money. For Candace, it might be healing. For Cleisha, it might be healthy relationships, right? What are you missing out on because you're not dealing with this problem? And here is the best question that you could ever ask yourself. What are you gaining by not solving the problem? Come on, Gabrielle, Gabby, I know exactly what you mean by taking risks. I get it. What are you gaining? What benefit is your mind and body getting by not solving the problem? Because spoiler alert, you're getting a benefit by staying stuck in your problem. I want us, even if it's not for you, even if it's in general, what do we think the answer to this question is? Oh, come on, somebody said it. Gab, the only benefit is comfort. Bingo. False sense of safety. Yep. Yep. Not hurting others. Yep. That's what you gain. And this is the thing that we don't realize. When we stay stuck in our problem, it's because unconsciously we are gaining something. And usually it's some sort of protection and safety. And what I want to tell you all tonight is that it's okay, that you can take risks, that you are safe, that some of these things that you are not doing that you think are scary and risky are an illusion. Now, that doesn't mean you do something crazy like throw all your money in the stock market, right? Like, I'm not saying do anything crazy, but I'm going to ask you later on, what is it that you should be doing to help yourself with this? But this is the main point I want you to get. Yes, Asa. Yep. It eventually will turn on you. That's exactly what happened to me, Asa. When I tell you that I really got into a really dark place before I quit the 9 to 5, I was not safe at all. I looked safe externally, but I was unsafe internally. And I bet you a lot of you are feeling that way. This is such an important question. What do you gain by not solving this problem? By staying stuck, this internal limitation is sabotaging you. And in order for you to get unstuck is you need to understand what you're gaining and understanding what's happening in your unconscious so that you can shift your perspective. Okay? That's what I want you guys to do. Because here's the real truth. Humans are natural creators. Humans are natural creators. Everything that we want, we make and we create. The reason why you have a cell phone is because someone had an idea. The reason why you have glasses is because someone had an idea. The reason why we have nail polish and clothes and cars and airplanes and Teslas, it's because someone had a thought or an idea. We are the ultimate creators. We have the ability to create anything that we actually want. But we have to get out of our own way. We have to get out of our own way and realize that there really is nothing in our way except for us. Okay, get excited because we're about to do something really cool. Okay, so I want to talk about the future you because I don't want to leave you in this place of like despair and stuckness, y'all. I want to talk about what y'all actually want, the future you. And I love this quote. I love it. When you desire something, you are meant to have it. You cannot have a desire that was not meant to be yours. If you desire it, that means it was meant for you. But here's a caveat. Our desires are so interesting, okay? Our desires are a glimpse into what our soul wants. And some of us have different desires. Some of us want to create something. Some of us want to build. Some of us want to investigate, to help people, to lead, to analyze, to protect, right? We all have these different desires of these big things that we want to do. Whoops, wrong way. Thank you. But can I ask you this? Are your desires your desires? Are your desires really your desires? Because guess what? I desired a 6-figure job and I got it. I wanted the money, but I didn't want the job. It wasn't my desire. I just wanted it. But society told me that I should desire a high paying salary job. But I just wanted money. I just wanted luxury, right? I don't want to have to work for somebody else and make someone else rich to get it. So are your desires your desires? Or is it the world's desires that were put on you? If you want to be an astronaut, do you generally want to go to the moon because you've always looked up into the sky and you saw the man in the moon and you were lonely as a child and you said, one day I'm going to hug the man in the moon? Or did you come from a family of astronauts who told you that you should go to the moon? This is where I want you to start, y'all. I need you to make sure that your desires are your desires because so many of us, like me, were disconnected from our big why. Why do I actually want this? And although we're not going to spend a whole lot of time in this workshop going into this, One thing that helped me a lot, in addition to coaching, was this book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. Is anyone familiar with this book? Has anyone read it? Yes. Great book, right? Why do you want to do what you do? What's the purpose? How do you want to do it? And what exactly do you want to do? I mean, this book has so many great exercises to help you really figure out what your why is and how you want to do it. So if you feel like this is the place where you stuck, my recommendation is to start doing some really deep inner searching to understand why you actually want what you want, and is it really yours? Because again, I said we are creators. Every thought that a human has can become a thing. But the outside world wants you to keep you playing small. Guess what? The human experience is all about failure, trying and failing, trying and failing. Think about the Wright brothers, the folks who did the airplane. Do you know how many times they crashed these model airplanes? Do you know how much money they put into creating, to all because they had the belief that man was meant to fly? All because they said, I wanted to soar with the birds, and they had this burning desire, and they purposefully took the risk, calculated risk. Let me say that you can take calculated risks. Maybe you don't have to quit your 9 to 5, but maybe you do something on the side, or maybe you do quit your 9 to 5. You can take calculated risks, and the way to success is through trying again and again and again through failure. I don't know about y'all, but in corporate America, where I came from, when you fail and you get that performance evaluation, honey, does anyone I mean, how many of us hate performance evaluations, right? It's like ingrained into us. You didn't do a good job. You're not going to get that raise. You're not going to get that bonus. You're not good enough. But we're supposed to fail. That's what humans do. That's what humans do. Regardless of what the outside world said, the Wright brothers were like, forget y'all. People laughed at them. People laughed at them. And this is what blows my mind, because my biggest fear is that y'all are going to laugh at me. My biggest fear is that y'all go look at me and say, Erica do not know what she's talking about. She look crazy. I don't care anymore. I love y'all. Genuinely, I'm doing this from the genuineness of the bottom of my heart. That's why the bonus is coming, and it's free. Please stay to the end. Because I really believe that we deserve all of our shit back. I want all the things that were beaten out of us, those who come from lineage of oppression. We deserve to create something big. We deserve it. So I don't care if people laugh at me. The Wright brothers didn't care if people laughed at them, because they were on a mission. And I want each of you to get so excited about your mission that you're like, all right, unconscious mind, what's the next thing I need to conquer? And you get excited about your fear, because you know that you are on the right track. So remember these rats. Remember the rats? You can be the rat that breaks the cycle. You can be the rat that breaks the generational curse. You can change these illusion of barriers and limitations that we put on ourselves for the next generation that comes behind you. What are the limitations that you no longer want to pass on? What are they? And so I invite all of you to turn off your cameras. Turn off your cameras. Because I want to lead you through a guided visualization to make this so real for you. I'm going to put this in your head so heavy that you're going to have no choice but to pursue your dreams. So let's take 3 breaths together. I'm going to turn off my camera as well. Oopsie whoops. And while I'm doing that, let's take 3 breaths. Another one. One more. Good job. Okay. All right. I hope I haven't been yelling too loud in your ear, and I'm going to get very zen. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get as relaxed as possible. As best as you can, keep your feet flat on the floor. Gently close your eyes and just get very comfortable. And eventually, you're going to create a visualization in your head. And you're going to be able to do it with such ease and flow because it's in you. And it's just eager and waiting for you to look at it and to be burned into your mind. And I want you to ask yourself a question. What is the very last thing that has to happen for you to know that that goal that you want has been achieved? How do you know that you have achieved this goal? And when you think of that, do you have a picture? Now, some of us visualize in vivid colors. Some of us visualize with feelings. Some of us visualize with sounds. There's no wrong way to do this. Your unconscious mind knows exactly what to do. To just listen to my voice, cut off all distractions, and follow the instructions. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to visualize yourself gently floating. I want you to float up and up and up above your seat, above the building or the car that you're in, above the trees, above the birds, above the airplanes and the clouds, into space, and even higher. And now that you're up there, I want you to look down. And I want you to visualize that you see your past, your present, and your future stretched out way below you. Now, I want you to turn towards the future. And I want you to float into the future, still staying way up high. And I want you to notice that goal, that picture that you had. I want you to notice your goal in the distance. And I want you to continue to float until you are directly above that date of your goal being achieved. Now, here's what I want you to do next. Still staying way up high above your timeline, I want you to go up even higher, and I want you to go further into the future, beyond this event and beyond any of the chain of events connected to this event. You're floating up into the field of pure potentiality, and your unconscious mind knows precisely where to go. And I want you to turn and face towards now so that you can see the event in front of you and below you. And I want you to listen to my words. Here in the field of pure potentiality, you can access all resources, limitless possibilities, infinite support, and pure potential. So I'd like you to think about this goal this desire that you have and the picture you have of it. And I want you to actually step into the picture so that you're looking at it through your own eyes. And look around and notice everything going on in the picture. And go ahead, make it a movie. Bring it into crystal clear focus. I want you to see all the details. Notice everything in the picture. And go ahead and make it brighter. Make the color perfect. Make the color perfectly saturated, the perfect contrast, brightness, lightness, size. And do that now. And you can make this picture perfect, shiny, sparkling, and magnificent. The best picture you've ever seen and felt in your entire life, with you accomplishing this goal right before it happens. And while you're there, listen. Really tune in and listen to what sounds are present. Are there voices? Cheering, perhaps? What sounds are present as you celebrate this achievement? And make them the perfect volume, pitch, tone, so that you can hear the sounds clear as a bell. And how does it feel? How does it feel to know that you have achieved this goal? Allow those feelings to flow through every cell, every molecule, every fiber of your being. Do you feel gratitude, love, confidence, empowerment, joy, hope, excitement, bliss? How else does it feel? Allow yourself to connect to the feelings present in this moment. And I want you to turn up the intensity of those positive feelings. Turn it up as much as you can while still feeling wonderfully comfortable. And again, allow them to radiate through your whole body from your heart center outward, bathing your cells in these wonderful feelings. And when you're sure that this goal looks perfect, sounds perfect, and feels perfect, go ahead and step out of the picture so that you see your body in the picture again. Make it a still photograph and imagine placing it into a beautiful frame. Okay, so looking towards now, keeping your eyes closed the entire time. Notice any attachments you have about achieving this goal or how you believe things need to happen in order to achieve it. Acknowledge that your mind can only conceive a limited number of possibilities for how this goal can happen. And by releasing attachments to the outcome and the how, you allow for the infinite choices and possibilities the quantum universe offers to spontaneously allow everything to fall into place, often with some surprise, synchronicity, spontaneity, and of course, delight. So go ahead. I just want you to release, gently release any of those attachments right now. And now let's energize your goal together by taking a few deep breaths. Breathing in the energy of pure potentiality into your goal. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. And now I want you to lock it in like the sound Tupperware makes. Okay, keeping your eyes closed now, and now holding your goal, I want you to go back, just float up above the event so that you are directly above the date that your goal will be achieved. Make sure you're facing toward now. And go ahead and gently release that goal and allow it to float down, installing into your timeline. And as that's happening, I want you to look towards now and notice how all of the events from the present to this future date have realigned and reconfigured themselves. Opportunities and resources showing up and everything realigning perfectly so that this goal becomes a reality. And now, I want you to gently float back towards now, above your timeline. And when you are above now, the present moment, I want you to float down now into the room, into your body, and open your eyes and turn back on your camera. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How was that? Write your comments in the chat. How was that? How was that for you? Let's get one or two comments. Yes, thank you, Chris. Loved it. Yeah, vivid, peaceful, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah. As much as you can, and you don't have to do it the same way I did it just now. Think about that picture. Think about that moment, the sounds, the feelings, and the visualization. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the gap. Let's talk about the gap that you have right now. Oh, LaShawn, you forgot you're at work? Honey, don't blame me if you get in trouble. Yes, Jamie, it provides an opening. I love it. I love it. Okay, so now I want to talk about the gap that's happening right now from where you are to where you want to be and how you're going to close it. Okay, and we're going to wrap up. So the gaps that you have, if you haven't already gotten it, is the thoughts, beliefs, and actions that you need to take to turn your future into the reality. And right now, the actions that you're taking or the actions that you're not taking is what you're doing to self-sabotage. Oops. And so I want to talk about how the brain works a little bit. Follow me or follow the magic dot, because this is exactly how the gap happens. So you have an event, an external thing that happens to you. Maybe it's you're like, all right, I'm going to start working on the presentation to put my business out there. Maybe it's I'm going to start sending out resumes. Maybe it's I'm going to go to the gym. Maybe I'm going to join a dating app. Something happens to you. And then your body takes in that information visually, auditorily, kinesthetically through touch. And then O and G stand for smell and taste. I can't pronounce it. A gustatory, olfactory, you know what I'm trying to say. And here's the thing. Our minds are taking in millions of bits of information per second. I mean, we are, we talk about peripheral vision, right? Like our brain can see and recognize and acknowledge everything. However, your brain can't process it all at the same time. And so what happens? As information comes in, our brains will either delete, distort, or generalize the information that's coming into us that fits our model of the world. And it takes all of those millions of bits of information and it breaks it down into 7 plus or minus chunks or bytes. And it creates an internal representation in our bodies. And then that internal representation produces an emotional state in us, which also messes with our physiology. That's why when you feel anxious, your stomach kind of goes into knots. And then only after that, you have a behavior. So all of this is happening within milliseconds, okay? So that one thing that you want to do that's too risky, that thought that you're having that's like, I want to do some revenue generating activities today. Your thoughts and beliefs, your values, everything that you've experienced influences how you delete, distort, generalize, and the internal representation that you have in your head. All of this is how your unconscious mind works. So if this isn't incongruent with your goal, then the emotional state that you create could potentially sabotage the behavior that you want to have, which is why you end up doing the opposite of what you really want to do. Which is why two people can experience the same event and have two totally different experiences. Because we each have a different model of the world, different meta programs, different ways that we create internal representations, and different emotions tied to that representation. Okay? You can see the moon and feel disgusted because it reminds you of a trauma, or you can see the moon and think loving, amazing thoughts. All of this happens unconsciously. Okay? So the actions or inactions you take are based on the internal representations or the interpretations of your unconscious mind. And in order to end this loop of self-sabotage, we need to uproot the cause of that internal resistance and reprogram it. Now, here's the question. How do we do that? Most of us do that by just reading a book, getting information, reading how-to content. But that's not working. Again, that's all the conscious. That's all you, the neck up. The answer is to program or reprogram your unconscious mind. Okay? Again, we need to move past blaming everyone else. Move past the self-sabotage behavior. Because guess what? There is somebody in your shoes right now that is doing the thing that you know you need to be doing and succeeding. So capability is not a reason to not do it, because I'm sure it's been done before. People have done revenue generating activities before. People have quit their job before. People have lost weight before. People have found their partner before. And it's so easy for us to think, oh my God, I'm like, no, trust me, I'm worse. I'm this, I'm that. Nobody has it. My generational trauma trumps your generational trauma. That's what we think. Self-sabotage. Because we're addicted to our problem. We want to focus on the problem. But people do it every single day. That means you can do it too. So the question that I want you to think about is your situation that you're in when you think about doing this goal, is it a learning opportunity or is it proof that you weren't made for this? And the answer is whichever one you believe it is. So what's the belief that you want? What's the belief that you want? We want the belief of learning opportunity. We want the beliefs that move us to success. And what are the beliefs that keep you stuck? Which brings us back to motivation. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Because if you really want it, you need to train your brain to think about it as a learning opportunity. Because at your core, you were made for this. And it's by design that you have to feel this thing so that you can become who you need to be. It's by design. You're not supposed to run away from it. You're supposed to go run towards it and conquer it. And this is why the big why is so important, because I want you to want it so bad that nothing is going to stand in your way to get it. So how do you know that number one internal resistance that's holding you back? And this is a question that rocked my world when my coach first asked me this question. What is the thing related to your goal that you know you need to do the most that you want to do the least? I want you to think about moving yourself forward. What is it that you know? What's the step that you know you need to take, but that you want to do the least? I need some answers in the chat. I need some answers in the chat. I need someone to show other people that they are not alone, because we all have this. And you can make it general or specific to you. You can make it in the past, you can make it something that you did in the past, something in the future. What is the thing that you know you need to do the most that you want to do the least? I need some answers in the chat. Who's going to help me out? I'll give you a second to be disciplined. Put myself out there. Let people know that I exist. Investing in the time. Speaking up, not being afraid. Discipline, self-care. Yes. Do the work. And I would even want you to get more specific, Candace. What is it? Not to call you out, and you don't need to answer, right? Go even more specific. How do you want to speak up? In what way do you want to be more disciplined? In what way do you want to do your self-care? In what way? Girl, Cleisha, stop snaking in the middle of the night. Girl, I love it because I've been there. Let me heart that too. I'm hearting it because I've been there. Yes, the struggle is real. That is the first sign of the internal limitation that is holding you back. That is the first step to finding the root of your unconscious block. If you know you need to do something and you know, ooh, Servy, hey cousin, yeah, you made it. Eliminating distraction. Yes. And not being afraid of success. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I think I know what you meant. Not be, yes. Ooh, yes. If you do not want to do that thing, that is your internal resistance. That is the beginning of understanding the root cause of what's holding you back. Y'all, when I first learned about this question, I didn't want to answer it because I knew my coach was going to tell me to do it. And I'm like, well, why do you want me to do something that I know I don't want to do? But that's the point. We need to look it dead in the face and say, what is making me not want to give up my distractions? Servy, can we talk about distractions? Before I decided to live out loud, social media, I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and distracting myself because I didn't want to feel that anxiety. I didn't want to feel that fear. I numbed it with some wine, with some edibles, with some scrolling, because I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to feel it. But feeling it is exactly what you need to do because that's the first step. That's a sign that you're on the right track. So I want you to write this down because I'm gonna ask you to use it when I talk about the bonus and the surprise that I have for y'all. All right, we got 10 minutes left. Boom, actionable steps. So here is how I work with my clients when we think about what they need to do. This is where rubber meets the road. First of all, we need to understand exactly what we just did. What are the limiting beliefs? What are the things that I have around this thing, that thing that you just wrote down? What are the reasons why I don't want to do it? And then we go deeper and we go deeper. Well, why don't you want to do that? And what's the problem with that? And why is doing that a problem? And why is doing that a problem? You can do this yourself. You can keep asking yourself, why is this a problem? Why is this a problem? How come I don't want to do this thing? Right? And it's important to know because that means that you're getting to the root. So I love that I had you guys write this down because now you can figure out exactly what's happening in your unconscious mind. Then you need to figure out where this belief comes from. What is the root cause of this belief? Because remember, the thing that you're feeling is only 10% of who you are. It's only the surface level. There's some deep rooted stuff, again, from our programming from the outside world and from the internal generational trauma that flows through our DNA. There are multiple reasons why we can have it. And again, it's understanding what is the root cause of this belief that you have. Why it keeps going backwards. And then the next thing is to uproot and install new beliefs. Again, you can say, I'm not going to believe this anymore. I'm going to make a decision today. I'm going to listen to all the affirmations. I am worthy, honey. I got all these affirmation cards, girl. I got a bunch. I am worthy. I'm in my bag. I am amazing. I am beautiful. I love my skin. I love the way I look. I am every and anything. I can say that stuff all day from the neck up, but did I believe it from the neck down? Nope. Affirmations are great once you uprooted the original belief, the root cause. And so you need to uproot and reinstall new beliefs that will override your self-sabotage. But we do not end there because once you reinstall the new beliefs, you have to start taking action. You have to start doing the thing. There's no way around not doing the things you need to do because I tried to find it. To find every which way around for me not to do the thing that I didn't want to do. Doesn't work. You have to do the thing that you don't want to do. It's easier to do it when you uproot those limiting beliefs. But if you do not take action, the weed could go back. I want you to pull that weed and install a rose. But I need you to water the rose. I need you to take care of it. I need you to take action so that you build up the neurology and you build up the habits that will keep you moving towards your goal. And this is usually where people give up. This is where I almost gave up. Because I was like, y'all, they're going to laugh at me. I don't want to be out here. These people don't know me like this. Those of you who knew me from Syracuse probably thought I was a bitch. Sorry. People know me like that, right? But I'm like, this is me. This is who I've always been. I just hit it. And I was afraid. But this step is so important. You have to take the action. And this is why you need support, because it's so easy to not hold ourselves accountable. So you need accountability also. And then once you do it over and over and over again, and you conquer this, the seasons will come, right? The flower may go into wilt and winter. So life will still life, but you know it's going to grow back. You know it's still there. Okay? Ease and flow comes once you develop the habits and the neurology for success. But you have to put in the work. So here's how we're going to end tonight. before I tell you about my gift to all of you. And Kenny, I know I want you to tee it up so you get ready. I want you to make a commitment to yourself. I want you to make a commitment for the future you, for that image that you had in that visualization, that you're going to clear up that one thing that's holding you back. And here's how I want you to do it. Here's what I want you to think about. What is it going to take for me to finally fix this problem? Are you going to wait for when you are so depressed and downbeaten? How bad do things have to get? How incongruent do you need to be? How much inner turmoil do you need to suffer before you say, I do something? What does it take for me to achieve success and pursue success no matter what? And most importantly, what does it take for me to choose me? Not what my parents want for me, not what my spouse wants from me, not what society wants from me. What does it take for me to choose me? And I want you to write a commitment to yourself. And you can phrase it however you want. And I want us to share our commitments in the chat, because we are better together. Is that a campaign slogan? I don't know. It sounds like I know it from somewhere. Anyway, let's write our commitments in the chat. Let's write a commitment in the chat. I want to see those commitments coming through. I commit to becoming my future me. I commit to doing the hard things. I commit to self-care. I commit to finding out my unconscious blocks. I want us to I want to see these commitments coming in, because we are not playing small anymore. I want our shit back. I want everything. For those of us who come from lineages of oppression, I want you to make a commitment for yourself and for them. What is the commitment you are willing to make for yourself? Let's go in the chat, y'all. We got a few minutes left. Yes, yes, Asa. Yes, standing up for your well-being. I'm going to add no matter what. Ooh, come on, Kenny. Come on, co-host. Prioritizing my goals and pouring effort into myself over other things that do not serve my happiness and well-being. Yes, cliche. Oh, I commit to doing the things that make me feel good about me, regardless of what anyone else thinks. It took me so long to get there. I'm so proud of you. I commit to being consistent. Come on, Sharon. Come on, big bucks, Sharon. Come on, future millionaire. Let's write. Let's go. Woo, Servy. Figuring out the obstacles that are getting in your way and putting yourself first. Candace, I commit to becoming my future self, my future me, and addressing my fears and reaching my goals. I love this. I love this for y'all. Yes, Jamie. Yes. Woo, and complete what you plan to do and be a better you. I love this. I love this. We are all struggling, y'all, in some way, shape, or form. Yes, namesake. Come on, Erica. You're going to complete those tasks, girl. Woo, Gabby. Come on. I commit to knowing and believing that I am worthy of all of my highest good. It is my soul's right. That's a word. I commit to stop staying at people's jobs so late. Let me put an animation. Yes, LaShawn. Shakira, I commit to walking with faith, not fear. Ooh, let me see these 3 things, Chris. Daily self-care, working on my business, staying connected to others while being the best version of me that I can. I love these commitments, y'all. I love this. I love this for each of you. It is hard. Now, here's the thing I need you to remember. Your unconscious mind is going to try and mess with you. Write it down. I'm going to send out the recording of this so you can figure out how to keep these commitments. So here's what we covered today before I give y'all this bonus and end the night. We talked about what is internal resistance and why you unconsciously self-sabotage. We talked about how internal resistance shows up for you and keeps you in that constant loop of self-sabotage. And we talked about how to release that resistance to manifest the life of the business that you want. So we did it. And now, here's the gift. You got two options. You can either do this by yourself and take everything that I gave you and walk with it and make it work. And I am rooting for you every step of the way. Some of y'all are almost there and you just needed this little workshop, this little thing to get you over the hump. But there's another option. For those of us like me who need support, who need someone to help them get out of their own way and to hold themselves accountable, here is my gift to you. For free, as a thank you for attending this workshop, and my lovely co-host is going to put, thank you, Kenny, the scheduling link in the chat. I am gifting y'all my signature for free resistance reset experience. So everything that we just talked about, that one thing that you want to do the most, the one thing that you know you need to do the most, that you want to do the least, I'm gifting you a 60-minute call to help reset that and unleash your inner power. Because this is my mission. This is the first time I'm doing this workshop. And I really want to serve. And I really want to give. This is not a sales call. I'm putting it out there. This is not a sales call when you book the 60-minute call. I commit to being of service to you. I commit to exploring how we can make this next chapter for you filled with ease and abundance. So here's what I want you to do. I only have a few spots available. So I want you to click on that link in the chat, and I want you to book a time, and I want you to type in the chat, scheduled, booked. It's free, and it's not a sales call, right? Because you know how people do. It's like, oh, I gotta get on this call, and I'm gonna pitch you. I'm giving it to y'all as a gift from me to you for believing in me. As a gift from me to you, most importantly, for believing in yourself. I am gifting this to you because I want our shit back. I want our greatness back. So click on that link, and when you get something scheduled, I want you to type scheduled. I want you to type booked. I want you to type I'm ready. Type unleashed. It's free, and it's not a sales call. I love y'all deeply. And just so you have a sense of what people who have worked with me had to say, I'm kind of good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. I'm very good. You can read the testimonials. And each of these are real people, real clients, who have just filled me with joy and purpose to know that I have made a small difference in someone's life. Come on, booked and busy. Come on, booked. LaShawn, email me. I will get you an evening time. Stat. I will send you another link with some evening options. Come on, booked and busy. Yes. Come on, booked. Y'all, let's support each other. Let's uplift each other. Let's figure out a way to do this, because me helping you helps you bring your gift into the world, which means that you're helping me. Who else is booked? Come on, let's get booked and busy. Let's find a time. Who else is, come on, Survey, booked. Yes, Cleisha, booked. Sharon, booked. Candace, booked. Free, not a sales call. Because I want y'all to win. Make sure you book your experience. Chat is in the link. We're 6 minutes over time. Does anyone have any questions? Kenny, if the functionality is still that they can't unmute, let people unmute. If anyone has a question, come on, booked. Come on, Asa. Come on, yes, come on, Gabrielle. Booked. Let's go. Let's do it. While people are doing that, come on, Crystal. Booked. Yes. Me. Oh, Kenny, you muted me. It's fine. I was reveling in the booked. Yes, I love you. I love this. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who have to hop off, please hop off. I will stay on the line with the link so that folks can get booked. And I will also stay on the line if you have any questions. If you do not, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm here for you. If you need me, go forward and be great. I love you too, Sharon. Go forward and be great. I am here to serve. Let's work. I love you, LaShawn. Thank you so much. Candace, you are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy I met you. Yes, yes, I'm writing it down. Desire and LaShawn, y'all need evening times. I got you. I got you. Of course. Yes. I'm gonna send it right now after I get off this call. Servy, I got you. I got you. Evening times. Erica, I got you. Everybody busy. Oh, Kate, that means so much to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means the world to me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. Shakira, I got you. Especially with the baby. Congratulations, my love. Congratulations. Any questions? I love y'all. I will stay on for a little bit, just in case. I have my evening folks, Shervy, LaShawn, Erica, Shakira, and there was one, there was one other person. Oh, Desire. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Love y'all so much. Have a great evening. I'm here if you need me. Kenny, if you want, you can stop the recording.